Honestly, Taco Tuesdays at Newman, where I live, is the most exposure I have to Latino culture.
Actually, where I come from, I'm exposed to a great amount of Latino culture. My high school had a very diverse high school, and mainly, I would say about 60% Latino.
The high school that I went to actually had a very large Latino population, and the neighborhood that I live in has a lot of Latinos.
Well, in some TV shows, there's always that really hot Latina chick. Like, for example, Sofia Vergara is a really hot Latino chick in Modern Family. But there's also like the stereotypical ones in animated TV shows like Family Guy, where the housekeeper is just the most oblivious person.
In Modern Family, it's just the Latinas are like really strong-headed and stubborn.
I think typically when showing Latino characters on TV or movies, I think the females are generally very attractive.
They can be loud, sassy.
Usually they're portrayed in like the media, like in TV shows and stuff, in not such a great light, like usually like maids or stuff like that.
Personally, like stereotypes about like Latino women, like you have like people like Sofia Vergara and like people like that, so very like feisty and like fiery and things like that. And I guess for men, I guess very like suave and like funny and like confident. And I guess like if a negative stereotype about Latinos that I've heard a lot is just like workers, I guess. So they're kind of seen as mostly for things like construction and farming and things like that, even though they do a lot more than that.
I guess it would depend on why you were calling that person whatever you're calling them, because I feel like you could call anyone feisty regardless of their race. If you're calling them feisty because they actually do act feisty, then I don't think that that's racist. But if you're calling them feisty because you're predisposed or because you think they should act a certain way without actually having witnessed it, then I believe that that would be racist.
Absolutely not. Like any stereotype, it's an overgeneralization, of course, of a culture or anything like that. Just like anything in the world, like it's an absolute, putting a huge generalization to one type of person. No.
I don't agree with them, but I do think stereotypes usually come from some little bit of truth, but it's like an overgeneralization.
There are some Black households and Latino households in which people do act exactly the way that they're portrayed in the media. So I don't think that the media is wrong for, I guess, filming that or letting other people see that. But if they film it in a way that makes people think that all Latinos or all African Americans or all of any minority act that way, then I think that that's what's wrong.
I've actually had instances where other students were surprised that I got into the school, so I know it came a lot from them thinking that I wasn't able to get accepted into a university like they did.
You kind of feel like you don't like really belong here, because like there's not many of like, you know, minorities in here, like especially like Latinos, especially in this campus. And sometimes you kind of feel left out. You don't really know about like the culture in any way.
They don't know me is what's the most frustrating part of it is. These things can describe certain aspects of my culture, and I think it's taking something so beautiful, stereotypes in general, taking something that could be so beautiful and turning it into something negative and wrong. So for example, being called feisty or loud. And depending on the culture, that can be something so bad.
A lot of humor revolves around stereotypes, not even with Latinos or Latinas, just with like sexuality, politics, all that stuff, race as well. So I can see it being around mainly for the purpose of humor and not so much anything else, hopefully.
So a way to get out of stereotypes would be to get people from different races working together, hanging out together, stuff like that.
I've personally learned a lot at U of I. While I was taking some anthro class or global study courses. Things like that would really help people to broaden their mindsets and towards other race and communicating. Like, it's very important.
I think that the best way to sort of like counteract that type of behavior, and it can be hard because a lot of that sort of behavior is passed down through like family or people you know, but I think probably the best way to counter that sort of behavior is like education related to like in schools. So especially like when kids are younger, so like junior high level or lower, that's like the main way that you can counteract that sort of thing, is to try and teach people about culture at a younger age.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a student. I'm working towards getting my bachelor's degree, so definitely hardworking and motivated, and that's the main thing for me right now. And personally describing myself, I guess just very outgoing, very friendly, very open to different ideas and cultures, and not very closed-minded.
I'm a history major and interested in being a teacher.
The fact that I'm a daughter, the fact that I'm a sister, I'm a student, I'm a senior, I don't know. There's so many things, but I think that the Christian is the biggest and the most prevalent. I'm a dancer. I dance salsa. Activist. I care very much about social justice. A leader. I don't know what else. A little sister, I think, is a good one. I have an older brother that does so much. There's so much more to me, honestly. Latina probably actually wouldn't even be top 5 on my list.
Well, projects like this where you're making a film about this sort of thing certainly help contribute to trying to bring people together.